Hey y'all, welcome back to I Be Knowing Shit podcast. It's me, your host, the one and only Goddess Siloam, Miss Foxy if you're nasty. Here on IBKS podcast, we dive into the mysteries of the universe and everyday life, sharing personal stories and practices to connect, educate, and inform. Get ready for mind expanding, thought provoking conversations, and enlightening insights. And we're going to have a time up in here. So take a deep breath, center yourself, and let's dive into this week's episode. If you ask somebody what love means, they gonna tell you some whole shit that what love, it don't mean that. Somebody told me everybody got their own definition of love. Well, if that's the case, I don't want no part of it. I don't want no fucking part of it. If everybody got their own definition and ain't no standard meaning to love, I don't want no part of it. Because a lot of people think, oh, love is pain. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And somebody tried to tell me if love not pain, why does it hurt to give birth? Bitch, that don't have nothing to do with it. It's because it's a human coming out your coochie. I'm sure it hurt when you constipated too, but that don't mean that you gonna love the poop when it finally come out. Don't have nothing to do with love. Since we're talking about love and relationships, shall we get into the topic of this week's episode?
So, this week's episode, of course, we're talking about alternative relationships.
Let's get into it. Well, different relationship dynamics. The most popular is a traditional relationship for the common folk.
We said, nope, nope, nope,
All
no,
right.
ma'am. Come on.
Okay. All right. Well, traditional relationship is basically, and if you don't know what a traditional relationship is, you shouldn't be listening. I'm going to tell you right now. But just for the sake of conversation, a traditional relationship is a relationship that conforms to societal norms and expectations. Typically, it's a monogamous relationship, a marriage, a childbearing relationship.
You
I mean,
can't even get through this without even wanting to laugh. Come on, man.
how a traditional relationship looks depends on the person and ethnic background and religious backgrounds and things of that nature. Now, and I'm not laughing because I think a traditional relationship is bad. I've been in traditional relationships. Most of my relationships have been traditional and forced. Motherfuckers felt like an arranged marriage.
Oh, man.
But
Hey, I remember, look, when I got married, my uncle ass gonna ask me, so when is the funeral?
I ain't gonna lie. Your wedding pictures do look like an arranged marriage. I'm not gonna lie. Not saying that not
Oh,
saying that you
man.
didn't look cute because you did. You look
I
beautiful.
did,
The
I was cute
dress
as
was
hell.
amazing, but
That's what I went for.
it looked like you were being sold.
Oh, wow.
It
Yeah, it was
looked like an arranged marriage, like,
boy, 'cause listen, I was stressed as hell. I was late for my own marriage.
wow. Well, that was a
And
sign.
yeah, and when they ask, "Do you take" Man, I had that church cracking up because when he asked that question, I said, "Absolutely." Who the fuck says that? Like,
Oh, got up there and said, "I really don't wanna do this. What am I
I mean, But I knew the show must go on. Like,
You there now.
yeah, and my auntie gonna ask me that question. I remember when she asked me, because here's the thing, and it's not saying that I don't believe in marriage. I know some people that display beautiful marriages, but I also understand it's, the environment. A lot of
Mhm,
times it's the career. Because, of course, if you all went to school together, y'all practicing the same, like y'all going to school for the same major, y'all have shit in common.
mhm,
Let's think about how many people don't have nothing in common. And not saying that opposites can't attract, because they can. But if you all are on two different life paths,
mhm.
not even failing to mention, like you said previously, if you don't even know who the fuck you are, how could you even
Yeah,
be on any path?
with
So,
another person at that.
yeah. And then the age plays a part in it too, because if we act like we don't understand from a psychological standpoint, yes, it's developmental stages, and it does
Yeah.
not stop at the adolescence part of
Mhm.
things. So you have the teen years, you have young adult years, you have full grown adult years. So you evolving.
Yeah,
And depending on who you with, they may not be evolving with you. But
or
does that mean
evolving in a different direction.
absolutely? But yeah, that was my spill.
So not to, because I believe in marriage. I don't believe in the government getting, and I said this before, I just really don't believe they need to be in people's love affairs like that. It's not, you cannot solidify somebody's love. And if you're not doing it for business purposes, you should not do it the traditional way. So not that I don't believe in traditional relationships, because I do. It's some pros to it and it's some cons to it. I do.
And I do too. I definitely do. But what I also believe too is you have just with the um when I talked about the traditional type thing,
Mhm.
we there are some that was conditioned and prepared for marriage, but not really understanding what that entails.
Yeah.
So even if you don't understand what it entails, you you opening up the floodgates for that setup too. So for a lot of people, it's a fucking setup. It is.
Yeah.
And I know women that feel that way, but for the most part, I know a lot of men that feel that way. It takes my son, and my son is 24, but he's always felt this way even when he was a teenager. He felt like there was no true benefits in marriage when it comes to men. But he was into politics. He was into really understanding, um, what one had to gain from something. And when you throw the government into something and you have an individual that don't know you,
Yeah.
they don't know
Mhm.
your individual circumstances. How can you tell me what I am or what I'm not doing or what I should be given or and then we
Yeah.
have if you tie the s spiritual warfare and spiritual
Yeah.
side of things into it, you got spirits of vengeance.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a monster, and then you have the government backing you.
And I think that's when it's a legal government officiated wedding, it come with all these energies and these spirits, and that's probably why a lot of times it don't work out, and that's probably why a lot of times, even if it wasn't gonna work out when they split up, it's so bad. Y'all like 2 politics fighting,
Yeah.
'cause y'all done put these people in your business, so now you gotta try to divorce this energy too, not just the person. The government is not being in my business. If I wanna get married 6 times to 6 different men in a year, I will. Who are y'all to tell me?
Yeah. But it kind of goes back to that word love, or that true understanding of it. Cuz I feel like if you love a person, there's no way that you would want to inflict pain upon them.
Mhm.
That's just my personal belief.
That's just
Um
facts.
and if a person is, I'd say, shit, if a person wanted to end the marriage, I mean, if you know you didn't come into marriage with shit, yeah, I feel like whatever you contributed to it, be it time or energy, yeah, you may be owed something, but shit, y'all discussed that shit in the beginning. That's where prenups come into
Exactly.
play.
Mhm.
But don't, if something not working out, or we going in two different directions, now don't feel like you want to ruin me because you feel like I wasted your time. Bitch, I ain't wasted nothing,
Yeah,
because you
it
were
was
supposed to still,
voluntary.
yeah, you were still supposed to be being on something. Even if
Yeah.
we have stay-at-home dads, we have stay-at-home moms. But even in the mix of that, I know stay-at-home moms that's still doing a side thing or still pursuing a passion. You don't have to be out in the world to still pursue your passion, depending on
Mhm.
what it is. You can still pour into yourself. But if you decide, I'm going to stay at home and I'm not going to do nothing because I know I'm taken care of, then that's on you.
S Sometimes even if a person has something, they financially straight, they still will try to ruin the other person.
Hmm.
It don't even be just like, "Oh, Imma leave with nothing." It really be what you said, "You wasting my time."
But I mean, if you coming into something like but you said before, it's an experience, or an experiment.
Mhm.
With marriage, I don't feel like that's an experiment, but I mean, in my, it depends on you as an individual, because if I know I'm not happy with an individual, how the fuck is that wasting my time? I'm wasting my own time
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I'm not happy.
Exactly. And they be mad. How you mad at somebody else? You voluntarily stayed. You voluntarily got in this. It's not a arranged marriage, and
So
you
that comes,
voluntarily stayed in it.
yeah, so that comes into when you talked about the spiritual side of things. I anything that I do, whether it's something pertaining to work, pertaining to my family, spirituality is all around it. So when you speak about that, you speak about the energies. You mentioned that
Mhm.
before when you talked about the energies that you've allowed into your marriage. It's still the same thing. So if you have
Mhm.
a spirit of that controlling spirit, if you have that spirit of vengeance, that
Mhm.
shit is like, either you allowed it, you housing it, or it's
Mhm.
who you are.
Mhm.
But that has nothing to do with the other individual. It all depend it still ties back to you. Me, personally, if I'm not happy in something, I'm getting the fuck up out of there.
Yeah. That's
And
the
go ahead.
that's the way to go. And I don't we didn't even have the energy to be mad. I'd be more mad at myself, like, I've wasted my own time. I knew better. I always know better.
That's it, that's all.
And
So
I
it
don't never have nothing against nobody I ever been in a relationship with that don't work out except these people don't know how to go away. Leave me alone. I would never bother nobody, try to make them miserable. I don't like you no more, but I'm also not about to bother you, so go away.
Yeah.
Take your
But but
energies with you.
but see, that's because, again, you coming into it with a genuine spirit of seeing it for what it is or what it can become versus what you can get out of it. Because that's what
Mhm.
it end up being in the
Yeah.
end. The only time I've ever felt like, "Bitch, stop playing with me," is when a person may have came into something on some business shit and you still owe me,
Mhm.
or you play with my money. something like that, but something tangible. But as far as when it comes to emotions, if I care about you and I say I love you, then I'm supposed to care about shit your happiness just as well as mine.
Mhm.
If you ain't happy, then that means I'm not fucking happy because you finna play in my motherfucking face. But if I'm not happy, then I'm gonna get the fuck out your face. That's
Yeah.
really what it should come down to. And then people don't understand, if you still growing and you in stages of this shit, you growing as an individual. So
Mhm.
if we don't have nothing in common, or you sit and think about it like, damn, we going in two different directions, like you said. If we going in two different directions, make it make sense. How the fuck is this gonna make sense to
Yeah.
us and our happiness?
It won't. It can't. It's
But
not
that
even a
kind of
possibility.
yeah, but that kind of comes into also understanding what your options are.
Mhm.
And that ties into what we were talking about as far as like the different types of relationships. A lot of
Mhm.
times we were only taught one way of doing things because we saw our mama fucking with somebody
Yeah.
and end up getting pregnant, and you just feel like this is the way, and now y'all ass got to get married because you've had a baby, and that's just it.
Or you get pregnant and they just won't go away, and you say, "Hey, you don't have to be around. I won't be mad. I'll tell the child you died if that's okay." And they just keep fucking coming around like they didn't hear you. Ooh.
How often does that happen, man?
Not exactly, but similarly, quite a couple of times. It's often. It's often to the point where you can call it normal.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
okay, even if it was that way,
Mhm.
being I don't even like the term devil's advocate, because where the fuck did that come from? Just say a more healthy way of thinking about shit, because the devil ain't nothing healthy about the fucking devil.
Is that what's supposed to mean? I thought it meant playing the bad guy, but really you're not playing the bad guy. You're trying to play fucking games.
Shit, ain't nothing good about that either way still. So
Right.
so going back to the healthy way of thinking, even if it is a lot of people, or it's a fair amount of people that is into, we had a baby, but I don't want to be bothered with your ass. Please go. Knowing that, I do believe that kids need a healthy male figure
Yeah, they do.
in a life. Because I my grandma always told me, all quality time is not good quality time. So
It's
I do
not.
believe that.
Mhm.
So I think in cases like that, um, sometimes you do got to get out that jam, and that's where we take accountability for choosing the wrong motherfucker. But that really don't have nothing to do with the options. The options is we do have them.
There's a
But
lot of
like,
options.
what
But
options do we have?
before we get into the other options, like we already talked about, a traditional, y'all need to know that it's not the only option. Jesus. But because I don't, it sounded like I got a problem with traditional relationships, but I don't. I have a problem with people getting in traditional relationships like it's the only option, getting in a
Or
traditional relationship. But I have a list. I have a list of pros of traditional relationships. And it's a short list. And then I got a little short list of cons. Now, because a traditional relationship is linked to a religious, can be linked to a religious background and ethnic and cultural backgrounds. I guess this is why a pro for a traditional relationship is social acceptance and support. Now I understand the support. And I guess the social acceptance would come in for religious reasons, cultural maybe sometimes. With yeah. Um Another pro is clear expectation and roles, which yeah, that makes sense. And potential for stability and security. Potential, not guarantee. So that also makes sense because it ain't guaranteed, but you can potentially get it.
Shit. I mean, even when you speak about the social acceptance or the support, when you thinking about the support, what real support do a lot of people have when they married? And I'm saying that only because when you have, so if you look at the couple dating, y'all going out as a couple, but whole time, how many marriages do you know where a lot of people see through this shit? A lot of couples see through this shit. So as soon as y'all leave that couple function, they talking about your ass. That's not
Mhm.
support.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have the same person that officiated your wedding.
Mhm.
That's support, but that's a given because that's the person that said, I pronounce you husband and wife. So even when you have family members that say they support it, are they supporting the love that you all have and the bond or whatever you all made, the vows that you made under God, or are they supporting what they impose on you?
You know what I just recognized?
What?
This is funny. I kind of recognized it when I was typing, but traditional relationships is not it's a it's a different type of relationship from monogamous. You in a traditional marriage, but nobody's being monogamous. They two different relationship dynamics. That's crazy. It's true. You can be in a traditional marriage and it not be a monogamous marriage.
But that's on but still that goes back to the tradition of the fucking turkey.
Yeah.
You got into a
You just
traditionally,
married because your mama got married, your grandma got married, the people in your church is married, so you just go get married because you think that's the right thing to do.
but you still
Because
being who you
yeah,
are, the core
who
of who
you
you
really
are.
wanna be. So just be that, be that. And I feel like this might sound selfish, and it can and I know it will be hurtful if it happens. I've done it. Did I feel selfish? No. But it can come off as being selfish. If you in a relationship and let's say you're in a monogamous relationship, and then as time goes on, you say, "Hey, I want to be in an open relationship because I want to see other people." I'm sure it's going to be hurtful to your partner that's cheating on you already secretly, but like what would be the problem? You just move on from the person or accept the open relationship or accept whatever they wanna change. That's the risk you take when you get in a relationship with somebody, people change. And I feel like if people would be more honest instead of lying about what they want, and you not lying because you don't wanna hurt the other person's feelings, you lying because you don't wanna deal with how they gonna act when you hurt their feelings. You lying out of selfishness. It's not to protect their feelings. It's because you don't wanna deal with the conversation, you don't wanna deal with the argument, you don't wanna deal with the emotions. So you just rather lie and cheat until you get caught because eventually you will. So what do you think about that? You're in a monogamous relationship. A couple of years into it, you just like, hey, I want to be in an open relationship right now. Think that's selfish?
You're asking me or the
Yeah, I'm
audience?
asking you. Hmm.
Um, I don't think that is selfish. And the reason I don't think that is selfish is because I personally think the selfishness comes when you don't
Yeah.
speak about, how you feel because shit at the end of the day, Even when I was married, my husband actually told me, or my ex-husband at the time, like, he told me, "People gonna do what they wanna do,"
They are.
and that's real shit. So, I think it's selfish not to share it, but I do understand because I've had, at one point in time, I wanted to understand, like, a lot of things, so I opened that it was like that I opened that door or that portal for people to share, what's going on. I
Mhm.
was always honest and told their ass if I felt like they were wrong about something, but what I found was I always came back to saying, "Shit, you wrong for not being honest," because I feel like everybody deserve to be happy, and I'm not just speaking about anybody else's situation, but me personally, shit, when I was married and I knew that if I know I'm a cheat, Imma tell you. And
But if you gonna do it, if you say something, I don't believe it's cheating. It's how is it cheating if you told the person? You gave them the option because if you say, "Hey, I'm gonna mess with somebody else."
that's not cheating. It's really
Yeah,
not.
it's not.
It's really not. But when you talk about, again, the the government and the
Yeah,
laws that was put in
yeah.
it's like or the
Okay.
expectations,
Yeah.
is it you can assume that people gonna feel like
Um,
you're cheating.
what's another word for it? Because cheating is doing something behind somebody's back.
But if the other
It
person
it
know
yeah, it gotta be a different term because I've never been a cheater. I refuse to call myself a cheater. When I was in a relationship and he was doing his thing and I said, "I'm not gonna complain about it." I knew he had a girlfriend. We lived together. We had a family. We was like the Cosbys. That's how I know Bill Cosby for cheating, but anyway, we was like the Cosbys, and he had a girlfriend, and I knew it. What am I gonna do? Because you think you're sticking me with these kids and you gonna go be with her? No, I tell you what I did. I had his bank card. You spend no money on this bitch. I don't know how you gonna entertain her because you ain't never getting his bank card. I will give you enough money to go buy you a bottle of liquor and a pack of cigarettes. You're not getting anything else, and gas money so you can go to work and come home to these kids.
well, in a case like
But
that, go ahead.
I knew what was going on. And I said, eventually I'll get tired. And I did. You doing too much. This shit, it's been going on for too long. She's harassing me. It got to end. So, and I said, because you're a liar and you told me you was not messing with this girl because he was messing with her in the beginning. He was messing with both of us. And he was honest enough to tell me. I met y'all around the same time. Cool. I'm having fun. And then we started a family. We moved into a house and I found out he still messed with this girl after he said he wasn't. That's the problem. And I said, you know what? Do your shit. And I told him this, do your shit. Cause when them tables turn, you're gonna be throwing up. You're gonna be sick. Have fun. Cause you're gonna keep with these games. Keep it up. Have my baby. And I said, you know what? When my baby turned 2, I'm finna turn the fuck up. And when he turned 1.5, I couldn't wait till he turned 2. It's taking too long. He's 1.5. And I went out with my homegirl and I met something fine. Nice eyebrows, waves, smelled good. He was and I said, because I had to approach him.
That's usually what niggas do, right?
We had Denny's because Denny's used to be lit after the club. So he's standing outside talking to his homeboy. I was like, you look nice in that pink shirt. And he was like, oh, this not pink, this salmon. I was like, oh, it's salmon. I like that.
Creep shit, yep.
And And I was like, you smell good too. You nice looking. You know that you look good. So this is. Then I went home and I slept great. And I said, I'm hitting that. Yeah, baby. So when my dude woke up, I said, I need to talk to you about something. I can see the fear in this nigga eyes, and I consumed it. I can see the fear in his eyes. I can see that his chest was pounding. And I said, I met somebody. And he was like, yeah, I figured. And I said, I'm just going to let you know I am sexually attracted to him, and I'm hitting that. Don't know when. I'm not going to, of course, he ain't coming to the house. I ain't going to do that. I said, but I'm hitting that. And it wasn't just to be vengeful. It's just because this is what we doing now. You have put me into an agreement. I stayed, and so this is what we doing now. So he's like, what? How you just going to tell me that? How have you just prolonged a relationship with this girl after you said you wasn't? That's how. Because this is what we doing now, and I'm cool with it. So I rode that thing like a horse. That nigga went into an asthma attack. That nigga went into an asthma attack while I was on top of him. Now I'm like, shit. What, you got a pump or something? I ain't get off of him. He was pointing over there. I just leaned over on the nice. I got him pump. And then after, I think I spent the night with that man. Anyway, and so I spent the night with him. And the next morning I went home. Oh, he had a nice house too. It was clean. It smelled good. It was a townhouse. He was perfect. But anyway, I went home and took a shower, went to sleep, and this man went through my phone. I didn't know he went through my phone, and I also didn't care because I told you what I was about to be doing. He went through my phone, and then I go see my boo again, and he was like, your husband called me. And I said, what husband? He was like, your baby daddy, the man you live with. And I was like, oh, what'd he say? And he was like, man, I feel sorry for bro. And I said, bro, that's your friend? Like, what's going on? This man was on the phone crying. Somebody, we trying to work it out. I said, he's lying to you. We are doing this for these kids. I did not want to do it for the kids. And he lying to you. We not trying to work nothing out. I don't care about him crying. He's not going nowhere. And if he do, that is his choice. You have the option. I'm not lying to you. I am not cheating. So you stop talking to him. He's like, she must really like you because she mean to everybody and she texting you good morning. You are not to talk to him again. I don't care what he said to you. We doing this, and we did it, and it went on for quite some time.
Now, now, in all fairness, I mean, you mentioned the harassment part. First off, if I'm in a relationship and a bitch harassing me, if I don't get out that jam quick, I'm definitely going to cheat.
Well, y'all, that's the end of this episode, or this part 2 of episode 22. Come back next week for part 3 of episode 22, where we'll be continuing to discuss the dynamics of traditional and non-traditional relationships and societal norms. And of course, I'm going to throw some more personal storytelling there. I don't mind, baby. I've lived a life, and I got to start sharing these stories with somebody. Because, baby, I have lived a life. And it's been exciting. Exciting? Girl, why would you pronounce that like that? It's been exciting. The good and the bad parts have definitely been exciting. So, yes, come back next week. Yay, we made it to the end. Woo, woo. I really want to thank y'all for tuning in and for being a part of I Be Knowing Shit Podcast Tribe. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly hope there was something useful you took away from it. Don't pass up the opportunity to let me know what you think by leaving a rating and review on the podcast platform you're listening from. And be sure to subscribe because you don't want to miss a beat. You can always download this and any other episode and listen to it at a later time. For more content, join me on TikTok, IG, and YouTube at I Be Knowing Shit. So, before I let you go, honey, did you know that you can leave me a voice note? All you gotta do is go to Spotify Podcast, click on I Be Knowing Shit profile, and hit message to send a voice note. There you can let me know what you think about the show, give your input, and leave suggestions for future topics. That's it. We meet again next week. Y'all come back now, you hear?